They got the recording of them pulling up on Duck. Listen. Was captured on video. According to the 45-page document, which includes an FBI affidavit, it lays out key evidence that led to last year's indictment against 4 alleged O Block street gang members.
Hey man, real stay safe world, man. You already know what's going on. So we got to talk about this FBG DUCK case. His mom basically came out today and said new evidence has been laid out by the FBI that implicates his shooters. But before we get into all that and the surveillance footage that basically got them targeted by the FBI, man, I'm gonna need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and let me break this down for you. So if you didn't know already, FBG DUCK, Chicago legend, basically the chief op of King Von and Lil Durk and O Block, basically, he basically was murdered in August of 2020 in the Gold Coast neighborhood of Chicago. If y'all don't know, the Gold Coast neighborhood is not a hood neighborhood in Chicago. It's a nice neighborhood where there's like Dior, Chanel. It's like the Rodeo Drive of like Chicago. And basically he was waiting in line of, I think, the Chanel store or the Dior store, and he was basically waiting there for a while, and then he basically went inside the store and then came out and then got shot. I basically made a video on this that they were able to figure out that the chief implicated people were C Murda, Muwap, and this guy named Carlos Offred. All three were charged with an indictment on September 30th, which also named each other as defendants. But let's get into the information that basically the FBI made public today, that is sort of why FBG DUCK's mom is going out of the way and saying this stuff, because the documents they laid out basically played and showed key evidence that led to last year's indictment against those 3 people. Well, I guess 5 people in total, but the 3 main people that we already know and stuff. But hey, so let's get into it. So according to the Chicago, I think it's Chicago Times, the broad daylight Gold Coast murder of FBG DUCK in 2020 involved 4 mass shooters who left 38 bullet casings behind following an attack that lasted all of 15 seconds. Much of which happened that day at the murder scene on Oak Street and elsewhere, as a gunman near was captured on video, according to the 45-page document, which includes an FBI affidavit. It lays out key evidence that led to last year's indictments against the 5 O Block street gang members who are now accused in the brazen killing. So basically what went down was investigators towed a car used in the shooting one day after it happened, and they later searched it and found evidence that implicated C Murda, who's an O Block affiliate. The documents also point to diss tracks between both of them, songs that were posted online in which street gang members disrespect rivals, talk about smoking ops and that type of shit. So the document, a search warrant application originally filed on October 1st, was unsealed, and it basically showed how all these people were implicated. So let's get into the events that led to him, FBG DUCK, being slayed. So FBG DUCK was killed on 4:26 p.m. on August 4th, 2020, according to the affidavit. 16 minutes on 16 minutes earlier on Oak Street, it said that FBG DUCK Weekly got out of the car driven by his girlfriend and stood in line outside of a store. Weekly's mother has said that he was shopping for a present for his son. Around the same time, surveillance footage shows Liggins, Smart, and others running down a stairwell at Parkway Gardens at 63rd and Martin Luther King Drive. According to the affidavit, it said that Smart and another person got into a Ford Fusion owned by Offred, and then the FBI believed Liggins got into a Chrysler 300 with 2 others. Okay? So from there, investigators were able to trace the vehicle's path from Parkway Gardens to the scene of the murder using video surveillance and police pod cameras. Around the time Weekly got out of the car on Oak Street, the feds say the Fusion and Chrysler were seen traveling in the same direction in the 6200 block of South Wentworth, just 5 seconds apart. The vehicles are spotted on camera in at least 7 additional locations. The documents laid out what happened at 4:26 in the first block of O Street. The Fusion and Chrysler stopped just in front of the dark colored sedan that had been driven by Weekly's girlfriend. Two people jumped out of the passenger side of the Fusion and opened fire at Weekly, who ducked with another person behind his girlfriend's car. Two people then got out of the passenger of the Chrysler. One on the front passenger opened fire on Weekly's girlfriend, while the others fired at Weekly. The shooters then got back into the Fusion and Chrysler and fled. According to the affidavit, it said Weekly's girlfriend was shot twice in the left wrist. The person who ducked behind the car was shot 3 times and left in critical condition, according to the feds. Weekly died shortly after the shooting, but the feds say it's unclear how many times he was shot. The FBI agent who authored the affidavit wrote that Weekly was shot approximately 21 times, or maybe shot at, but the agent cited a Cook County medical examiner's report that said Weekly was shot 16 times. Damn, man. That's crazy. Like, this is crazy. This is in broad daylight. So basically, the 38 cartridge casings were found at the scene, including a 357 caliber casing. And then so meanwhile, after this, the police got the footage of this Chrysler that was then spotted on police cameras in 8 additional locations before surveillance showed it returning to Parkway Gardens at 4:56. So these niggas went, did the drill, and then pulled right back to where they started. The video showed Liggins getting out of the passenger seat, according to the affidavit. The week after Weekly's killing, Chicago police found this Chrysler in the 210 block of Gunderson and Berwyn and towed it, the document says. When it searched August 13th, investigators allegedly found a handwritten note appeared to list Liggins' Facebook and Instagram accounts, as well as phone numbers for Liggins and BM, which the FBI took to mean baby mama. What the bruh? How do you, please tell me, I don't know what you're doing. How are you doing a drill and you have like handwritten notes with your social media and your fucking girlfriend or baby mama's like name on it, bro? Like, what are you thinking? Like, why do you even have that in the first place? So the FBI agent spoke with investigators, also found a 357 caliber cartridge casing between the Chrysler's windshield and hood. An examination of that casing, the one found at the scene, and it matched that it was one of the ones found in Weekly's murders, showed they were consistent with being fired with the same firearm. Police had previously said Weekly's shooting might have been motivated by derogatory statements toward deceased members of the Black Disciples made on Weekly's social media account. The FBI affidavit points to multiple online videos, saying a July 2020 YouTube rap video in which Weekly performed as FBG DUCK. And then, yeah, so it's just sad, man. It's just crazy. Like, the way that they did this is just like insane. That the fact that they were able to do this, which leaves me to think that like basically maybe like he was seen while at the Gold Coast and someone called someone, and then they basically ran and tried to get this nigga while he was still in line. And I guess it took like a whole 30 minutes for them to slide all the way to the other side of Chicago from the south side to where he was, and he was still there. Wasn't very smart on FBG DUCK's end to be posted in the same spot for like 30 minutes and still waiting in line. Those lines be dumb long, man, because of COVID. So really, it's just like death by design. Or if he had been elsewhere, it probably wouldn't have occurred this way, but it was wide open and they took the chance, man. And it's just sad, but it's like, I guess you can't really expect anything else when it's like you're dissing the dead and shit like that. Like, that's all that's gonna really happen. You're just continuing this cycle of violence, and it's not gonna really get anywhere, anyone, anywhere, anytime soon. You feel me? Like, it's just gonna be this type of product is really what's gonna happen, man. But it's just crazy that they were able to find out this information that basically like puts the whole case together and implicates C Murder and Muwab and those niggas, basically, because like ultimately those are the people that were caught at the crime. And one dude specifically had his name and Instagram handle basically written on a piece of paper in the car. So it's basically a wrap, man. But let me know in the comments what you think about the new evidence and shit. You think it's necessarily them, or you think it's something else, man? But hey, real stay safe shit. You already know what's going on. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go, man. Peace.